boil and fry sweet potato, and what I mean by that is usually when I boil ground provision, whether it's sweet potato, yam, dasheen, cassava, edos, tanya, well, I don't eat tanya now. Half the time the yam in Canada is very expensive, so I usually buy a sweet potato or two and I boil it and I eat it with stewed salt fish. If you follow me on Instagram, you would always see me. That's my little comfort food. But what the leftovers I do is I refry the next day in butter and I add all the stuff together, and it is a wicked dish. So I'm thinking, hey, I've never showed you guys, or I've never shared how to do it with just sweet potato. And what we have here is about 2.5, almost 3 pounds of sweet potato. We'll need some salt, some salted cod, any saltfish that you can afford or you like using, because salted cod is very expensive right now. You'll find that salted pollock or something would be a lot cheaper. Onion, scallion or green onion, some butter, fresh thyme, garlic. I will need some black pepper, and I'll also need some olive oil. We'll boil the sweet potato first, and while I wish I could find my stupid little paring knife, I can't. So hey, the family heirloom ratchet. I'm just gonna cut the top off. Leave the skin on, that's fine. Yeah? I don't know where maybe it's in the dishwasher, I don't know. But all I'm doing is trimming off the sort of bottom, see that sort of area there, and the top. And the more pointy part, if you don't know, the more pointy part would be the part that's more deeper into the dirt, and this would be connected to the plant here, the sort of top stem. Yeah? And then what I'm going to do is cut it into pieces. Yeah? Snap. Ah! Snap. There we go. We got 3 pieces, right? And that's going to go into the pot. What I'm going to do is fill the pot, and they've been washed. You notice they're still wet. I give them a good scrubbing. And yes, you can peel it first and then put it in the boiling water, but I find this way here it works as well. So either way that you like, you can, rock that way. What we'll need to do is boil it. Once it's tender, we'll take it out, peel off the skin, and then we will get to refry. It's covered in water, and we bring it up to a boil. As that starts happening, I'm just gonna add some salt in there. So you want to boil it in salted water. It's going to come up to a boil, and then we're going to reduce it to a rolling boil, and it won't take too long, maybe 15 minutes or so for them to be fully cooked all the way through. It's been going on that rolling boil for about 22 minutes now, and all we'll do is take a sharp knife, like a paring knife, and go down the center, and you can see no resistance. So what I'm going to do is turn off the stove, and I'm going to pull it aside now, drain it, and allow it to cool so we can handle it to quickly peel the sweet potato. Now if you want to keep the skin on there, you can, totally up to you. Maybe you're looking for some more fiber, but I might need that fiber. It's been about 7 to 10 minutes or so now. Just show you how we will do it. We'll just sort of pinch and pull back on the skin like so. Yeah, it's still a little bit hot, so that's all you need to do is just pinch and pull back on this. What I'm also doing is cutting each piece in half and setting them aside, so it's going to be like not bite-sized, a little bit bigger than bite-sized pieces, but you're in control on how big you want to cut up the pieces. Medium flame, olive oil, and if you notice what I did, I have it all prepped and ready now. All that sweet potatoes here, and this is a one-pot kind of dish for me. However, you can do it as a side dish to anything that you normally have for dinner or lunch or whatever. The other thing is I am using salted cod in here because I find that and this is the salted cod that I mentioned earlier, it's been prepared, and I have a video on the Food FAQ channel showing you how to do that. One, either you boil it in boiling water, drain it and remove most of the salt, or you can soak it overnight and the same thing happens. It rehydrates it and it removes most of the salt it was cured in. I usually get the boned, which means boneless, which means the bones were removed. While you're going through it, make sure you go through it and remove some of that bones. I just find that the salty, sweet sort of element, the salt being from here, and the sweetness of the potato, it forms a perfect balance. To that, I want to add a couple tablespoons of butter. Just going to move it around just so that melts a bit. As it melts, I'm going to go in with my diced onion, the salted cod, thyme, garlic, course, some black pepper. Now, if you want to add some Scotch bonnet pepper in here or any sort of spicy element, you can certainly do that. I don't want any spice in here. What I do wish I had was some pimento pepper. I would add some pimento pepper in here for that lovely sort of flavor of a Scotch bonnet without the heat. Scallion thyme. And when I say scallion thyme, I mean, well, scallion, the time for scallion, we already have thyme in there. So all those flavors. Now what I'm going to do is reduce my heat to sort of medium-low. And I want that butter and that olive oil to take on all of those flavors that we added in there. A lovely ingredient to add in here, and I think it complements the sweet potato as well, is some smoked paprika, some sweet smoked paprika. If you can get Spanish pimenton, it works great in here. I will not put any because I don't feel like that today. Stir that around and let that sort of sweat saute just for about 3 or 4 minutes, not too long. Just going to scrape off just a little bit there on the bottom where the codfish was. It kind of wanted to stick a little bit on me. I'm quite happy after the 3-minute mark, so I'm going to go in with the sweet potato now. And the whole idea is to toss it in that lovely base that we created there. And this is the sort of fry in the boil and fry. So it is a boil and fry sweet potato with that salted cod, the thyme, the scallion, onion, garlic, all those lovely things in there. And remember, if you like the flavor of smoked paprika, it will add a lovely little undertone of a sweet heat with that smokiness as well. All I want to do is heat this back through, because remember, we cooled the sweet potato when we wanted to peel it, yeah? So I'm just going to let it heat through another 2 minutes or so, and then we're done. A lovely one-pot dish there. Yo, this thing screams comfort food for me. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you all in the kitchen with me. I do hope you all get an opportunity. I'm just going to turn it off. I do hope you all get an opportunity to give this one a try. Yo, man, it is so delicious and so easy to put together. Remember I said you don't need the salted cod in there. Totally up to you. Alright? Alright.